Please do.
To do the
Please,
intros.
please do the damn thing.
All right. Check, check. 1 2 1 2. What is going on? What's happening? What's cracking, people? This is Marcus Kwame back on a Wednesday. Which you're not accustomed to, but we've done Wednesdays before, but this is an extra special episode because we want to accommodate a guest that we're fans of, man. And before we get to that, before we get to our extra special guest, I'm going to kick it off with the crew. First up, man, we've got all the way from New Jersey, the Prime Minister of the Blue Czech Republic himself, author, and just Czech man extraordinaire. We got my man Latinegro. What's going on?
What's up, man? What's up, everyone? When you say, from New Jersey, that feels weird.
He's not, because he's not.
Right.
It just
I know.
feels, 'cause
I know.
I
I
mean,
know.
I'm in New Jersey, but I'm
He's-
from
yeah.
New York,
We
so
were-
it just
we were- we
feels
were
Doing
weird.
it in the
talking
dirty
about-
jers.
Yeah. No, man, you claim it, man. You're chilling with Reggie Noble. Yeah.
So
He's hanging out with
I'm all
fucking
good.
Ghost Dog.
I
Yeah,
clearly just came out of work, so
Right.
I got my work stuff on. So yeah,
Oh, is this your drip? Is this your work drip? Okay.
yeah. This is
tight,
the
man.
work trip.
All right. I dig it. I dig it, man.
That's
For
what's
real.
up. No, you've been seeing it. Actually, matter of fact, follow Tony at Latinegro on Instagram for all his GQ pics, man. Because he's been posting
Oh, is it a
the
series?
workplace, the
No,
workplace.
I figured,
GQ.
Yeah.
I
Does
don't
he
know a
have a
lot of
shot where he's
guys.
munching on one of the
Well,
arms
no,
of
no,
his
no.
glasses?
I don't know a
or
lot of
something?
guys that post a lot of pictures like in like dressed up wear. So I was
Yeah.
like,
No,
I'm
I'm
just
not
gonna do
roasting
it.
you. I'm not
No,
roasting you.
I'm just saying.
I
That's why I
actually
do
want
it.
to, I want to get some of my fashion game on
'Cause-
my Instagram too, man.
Yo, do it.
You know?
That's fine.
I mean,
That's
let's
fine.
not forget the New Year's shirt because I haven't.
Oh, I don't. Hey, yo, I will bust it out again. We don't even need to.
It's a side. That's deep.
Let's
That's
move on.
deep
Let's
Black
move
Comics
on.
Chat lore.
No shame,
All
man.
Let's
No
move on.
shame. It'll be back. It'll be back.
All
And
right.
that other
Be
voice
back.
you heard,
Shout out.
that very familiar clowning is the type of clowning that can only come from a
Mm.
friendship of decades.
Absolutely.
All the way from the left coast, we got my brother from another mother, comic book creating partner in crime, Leo.
Yo, what's going on? I'm like so hyped for today. Like we're on a vibe. Green room was fun. Green room was buzzing. I feel like
Yes.
there's like some shit went down. The DHL guy might show up. It's a whole thing.
Never
It's a
know.
steez. It's a style.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm hyped. I'm so hyped about Tony's background. Tony, I know I saw you. I saw the pic you shared. Tony's playing Elden Ring, and I'm super excited about it.
Elden Ring is it's been a very enlightening
I'm
experience.
so happy you.
And as someone who is stressed every day at work, this
You come
killing
home and
zombies
re-stress?
and doing all that's just right up my alley.
Okay. All right.
Man,
Cool.
it's life. It's real life.
It's
Yeah,
life.
no, I'm hyped. I'm excited as hell. Let's go.
Okay, yeah, and as I said, very special show. First of all, while you listen, we're going to be giving you the info on the Kickstarter for
Yes, yes.
this amazing, I would say genre, expanding work, Grat Ninja. But before we get into all of that, I'm going to introduce our guest, man. You know him from Prince of Cats, Sentences, A Life of MF Grimm, and most recently Grat Ninja, Gratuitous Ninja, the great Ronald Wimberly. What's up, Ron?
What's happening, folks? How you doing? Nice
Hey.
to hang out. I'm sitting here listening to y'all break each other. Wait, what?
How
Is,
we do?
how much language can we? So is this,
You can say
is
whatever.
this, PG?
Yeah. It's all good.
Um,
It's all good.
I don't want to say anything too nasty.
Was the last time that Ronald was on? Was it when you were in a car calling into the show?
Yes.
Was that
Oh,
the
shit,
last
I was
time?
in LA, maybe. I was in. Oh no, I was.
You were
yeah,
like
I was,
Oh, no,
on
there
the
were
way
two
to a
times. There were
con.
two
You were
times.
on the show
I was
twice.
going to San Diego. I was
Yes,
in the desert.
yes.
I was in
Yes.
the desert between what's that? Was it San Francisco and San Diego? Yeah,
You
I
were on
think.
like Barstow or some shit? Were you on some Fear and Loathing type shit? It was
Oh, I
crazy.
did get really high at that San Diego though.
Yeah.
So, like too high.
Proper.
But yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
So Anthony, that's like that's the video game you're playing?
Yes,
Yeah.
Elden
Yeah.
Ring.
I
Absolutely.
thought that was Wanderer Above the Sea Fog, but that painting, that romantic painting.
Yeah, right? Yes. No, it's no, because if I move, you'll see that's my character. right
Yeah, his
there.
character's in the center.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it looks exactly. It's kind of trying to do a version of that.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
gonna try to send you a link. Yeah.
Miyazaki's into all types of shit. We could share that piece if we need to on the viewable stream here. But yeah,
Oh,
no,
what Miyazaki worked on that game or no?
Hidetaka Miyazaki, different,
Hidetaka.
different
Okay,
Miyazaki.
okay. All right, all right.
They're the
Okay.
two Miyazakis.
Okay. I mean, at least there's many Miyazaki.
No, they're the only the only two that exist. Only two guys named Miyazaki. I guess three if you Goro, but yeah, no, it is hype. This hype. I'm excited to have you on, Ron. It's been like
Yeah,
it's been
thanks for
ages.
having me.
It's been ages.
That's been what, at least that's like
It's
6 years or
been a
something,
clutch
right?
of years. It's been
Yeah,
a
yeah,
clutch
it's
of
been a
years.
minute.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
still in New York definitely the last, so it's definitely been like 3 years.
Oh.
Um, so you know what, like Marcus, I was thinking about this, like, because I know we have like a
Yeah,
lot of intro questions for guests. Ryan hasn't been on a while, so I want to do the classic origin story thing.
right, right.
But I have like
Yeah.
another question after the origin story that I think we should basically start asking our guests, which like I don't even know why we don't.
Okay. No,
Um,
I'm all about expanding it. Let's do it.
expanding the shit. Yeah, no, but like,
Yeah.
but as we always do on Black Comics Chat, and as I know we've done for you years ago, but since it's been so long, we love to ask our guests about their origin, introduction into comics, both as
Hmm.
readers of comics and as creators of comics. Like, what did that look like? When did it hit you? What was the song on the radio? All that kind of shit.
Okay. Yeah, my childhood friend John David Carling put me onto comics. You know, I had never really seen, I don't think, or read, you know what? Actually, that's a lie. Comic books, you know, like floppies, that would have been, but I think way before that it was newspapers. You know, it was like you know, getting the morning or Sunday paper, the Washington Post, you know what I mean? Like had like a big thick stack of comics in the middle, strips. And or probably after that, those chick tracks, you know what I
Yo,
mean? Like
that Jesus shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like, or even the bubblegum shits, you know what I mean? Like the bubblegum, like was it
Bazooka Joe. Hell's
Yeah,
yeah.
Bazooka Joe.
Joe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Those, yep. Those would be like my three, I guess as far back as I can go to remember like my relationship to comics. You know, that's it. But it's like I feel like they always been around. You know, Far Side and shit. You know, Charlie Brown, Snoopy. You know, yeah. That's probably when it got started for me. But yeah, and I used to love to read those. So like actually that is it. You know, like yeah, the Sunday paper.
Yeah, there's something like weirdly. This is an answer that comes up frequently on the show, in terms of that question. I feel like there was something like weirdly democratizing about just like how like because comic strips were like cheaper and more easily accessible than even comic books, even back in the day. Like it was just like something you could find. Like you would literally find them.
Yeah.
You could find a newspaper on the floor, and then like you've got
Mhm.
now you're reading comics, and
Right.
like they kind of like taught the vocabulary of it. Like before you even like understood like I don't know proper vocabulary of a lot of other shit,
Mhm.
they sort of that's like almost the most obvious gateway drug, freely accessible, cheap as hell, always around. It might be in your dining room even if you have no money and don't buy any comics, you're going to see that. um so what about putting ink to paper? What about all that biz?
Man, you know, like I was at Pratt,
Mhm.
and I had started out as an art direction major. Oh shit, that just reminded me about something. And so, uh, I um I was probably in my sophomore or junior year, and I was starting to think about like, all right, so where do we go from here? What's next? Um, and I was in the illustration department. I had switched majors my sophomore year, and I had homies who were deep into comics. You know, like the homie Ted Lange, Julian Lytle.
Love
You
Teddy.
know,
Mm.
yeah. And so then I know that Ted was in the Pratt comic book. Like it's called Static Fish. It was like a club at Pratt, and they would put out a comic. I think Ted was in it.
Mm.
Julian might have been in it. If he wasn't, like he would get in it shortly after. And like so, yeah, I went in there and I just gave it a shot. I had taken a class with Floyd Hughes, still a friend to this day. He was teaching a class called, I think, the art of the storyboard. I think it was like graphic novels and the art of the storyboard or something like that. And he gave me an assignment once that was like, oh, you had to make a comic out of the poem Ozymandias. And that was probably the first comic I drew. But like I
Huh.
phoned that shit in, man. I was bad in that class. Like I was that wasn't real. Then the second comic, that's unofficial. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
the like the film Kubrick made for the killers. You know what I mean? Like you'll never find it. You'll never see it.
Like the Lost Tarantino shit, like that.
Yeah, I don't even know about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I did one called Vandal Vigilantes in that comic book club. And that was kind of like heavily influenced, like visually, formally heavily influenced by Slow Jams by David
One
Cho.
of my favorites of all time.
Mm.
I still have
Yeah,
my copies.
yeah. I
Mm.
got it over here. Yeah.
Yep.
And so and because that was when I was in high school, I was reading Nine. And I think a Nine had come out, like it
That
was
had
coming
him
out
in it.
a
Yes.
year or so. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, and so the next one was Gratinan. It was the first Gratinan. So um I had just been reading Arzak and like I wanted to do something with no words.
Mm.
And so I sheer action like a gag cartoon, just like a running gag. So and that's how I got into that. That was like, that was when I feel I was serious. And those were getting printed too. So like
Hmm.
since it was the Pratt comic book, they would print it and like we were all trying to, it's actually a great idea. Fuck around. Like I feel like I've been chasing it. And if I could do lab like that,
Mm.
like if I had we kind of are doing lab like that, but I would love to. Anyway, we could talk about that later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can definitely talk about Lab. I love that. I love that kind of like that that drifting journey though. So Vandal Vigilantes.
Mm-hmm.
So Vandal Vigilantes is that sort of like the kernel of what would become Gratinan?
No, but it's got a theme that carries over into one of the characters in Gratinan, called 9-1.
Hmm.
And
Spray painter.
because yeah, she's a vandal and she's a vigilante, right?
Hmm.
And her story is that she's kind of like she's like the anarchist in the squad, but like she's got a secret background she don't tell people about, so but yeah, the kernel for her character started in Vandal Vigilante, which was just like, it was just me romantically kind of exploring what it was like at the time in New York, probably like 99, not 2000.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
The huh. That's that had a thread. So curious though, because like for slow jams as a starting point or as an inspirational point within any of this, like was your early stuff like a little autobio? Like was it sort of on some of that?
Mm, I mean, there was a character in it there were two characters in it that I knew. It was kind of, but not really, because it still had that sort of, it wasn't a science fiction, but it had like a heightened reality to it. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
so I wouldn't say it was autobio. It's like who I aspired to be, because it's like, I'm a cat who spends a lot of time drawing. I would go out though. I would go outside, but like I wasn't living the way this character was. Maybe it was like my fantastic version of myself, like more handsome, more outgoing, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing.
The idealized
Maybe.
versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
Actually, can I jump in with something real quick?
Please.
Because that ties into something that I had actually wanted to ask later, which is your characters, whether it's Prince of Cats or Gratuitous Ninja, they're in like maybe these extraordinary like scenarios, but they always like feel like a real person, like you know what I mean, like either somebody that I've known, met, or something. So basically, my question is like, which is somewhat related to what you were just speaking about, like, do you find yourself, whether consciously or unconsciously, like drawing on like just people in your environment for your characters?
You asked me if I unconsciously do it. Like,
Or either way, or consciously, like
Yeah, Ronald, what kind of unconscious shit you get up to, my dude? What kind of unconscious shit you do?
It's like it would if I had answered, it would have been you had just revealed it to me, right? Like, surprise, I was like, yeah,
yo, that's my
I didn't even know. It's like, but you know what? Now that you mentioned it, I know. Yeah, no. Yeah, I guess that's like a art practice question. I mean, I guess almost like philosophical, right? Like
Mm.
I would say we all are, right? Like
Right.
your question is an answer. And like I think I mean, I have to, I think one of the things that I maybe would be more conscious about is how I'm not just sort of I don't know, reproducing some sort of, or something that I definitely do, but I work to either complicate or not do,
Mhm.
is how I might unconsciously reproduce, some subconscious element of myself in
Right.
characters, or people's like, oh, this guy keeps drawing comics about his mom type of shit, like
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I would, like that's something I want to look out for to make sure that I'm being at least somewhat deliberate about it.
Mhm.
But I think more and more now I'm getting more interested in how I might produce things subconsciously too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think yeah, like that's almost like a philosophical question, bro. Like I think yeah. I mean, if what you're getting from it is that the characters, if they're relatable somehow, and by relatable I mean like you could be like, yo, fuck that nigga. You know what I mean? But like I know him, right? Like
Right.
I know him
Yes.
Right.
like
Right. Yeah.
that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like which is kind of like what I was shooting for with Tibble. Right? Like, fuck, this
Yes.
guy's
Yes. Yes.
awful. But like I know that motherfucker. Like, and it's tragic, right? Like I know that, oh shit, but it's tragic, like
Mhm.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's not a way to be. And so I think, but like whatever. Like you want to I think anytime you're doing like mimetic type of art, you want to reproduce some of reality. I think even if
Right.
you're talking about like Turandot or like some crazy opera, there should be elements in that where you're like, wow, Don Giovanni's like, oh, that motherfucker, like that's like that's a guy, I know that guy, like, or that,
Yeah.
yeah, but you know what? That actually isn't I'm saying this while at the same time, another part of my practice is exactly the opposite. So
Is what avoiding that? It's an avoidance of
Mm.
that?
there's also, yes, I think it's also useful to kind of like, I think it's also useful to remind people that they are looking at characters, and
Hmm.
it depends on what you're
Right.
trying to do, right? Like that's all I'll say. It's like you have a lot of tools in your toolbox as an artist.
Right.
Like I don't think you should take anything for granted.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Anyway.
yeah, I mean, like for what it's worth, because in a way, like the question did contain somewhat of an answer, not even intentionally, but I
Subconscious.
definitely didn't interpret it to be like a 1-to-1 ratio, like, oh, that's Bill or whatever, you know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
think that even, and a lot of it is visual as well. It's like sometimes just like the expressions, you know what I mean, like people have, or even just people's like posture or body language comes through in your art, you know what I mean? And maybe that's like, I mean, well, see, I'm an artist, so Leo knows I always go to the art questions, but
Hmm.
but like I guess that's what I'm seeing too. Like it was not necessarily like, oh, you're reproducing a 1-to-1 ratio, but like,
Man, I dig it though. Like something strange has happened. I have one friend who's like, I don't know, and one of the things I'm working on right now, I'm drawing a lot from her life, right? And it's just mainly because we get together and she's telling me stories, you know what I mean? And it's like she really
Dangerous.
is inspired a lot in my work, just like because I don't have the same standpoint as her, but like I'm hearing how she tells her story, you know what I mean? Or like, the
Mm.
stories in her life. And sometimes they're anecdotes and all types of shit. Like I think if anyone, she could tell on me, like you should probably ask her if that's what not me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
ask her like if I do it subconsciously, I
yeah,
wrote a character though. No, you want to hear something strange? There was a character that Jessica Abel wrote.
Mhm.
One of the few times I drew willingly for someone else's script. And
The venom in that statement. Go on with yourself.
it is what it is. And so, but one of the characters turned in the comic before I met this person. I ended up dating a person exactly like that, looked like that person, and low key kind of had the same vibe as that person.
Okay. Okay.
Like years later, it's really fucking weird.
This is like that
One
Philip
where
K.
other
Dick
people be
flow
like,
my
"Oh,
tears shit. That whole
huh?
thing, the whole thing, you know, that Philip K. Dick thing where like in Flow My Tears, like he wrote this story and then like someone's like, this was our exact life. Like we met this way, this thing happened, even though it was a
Oh
fictional
no,
book.
I never read
There's a
that one."
whole anecdote. It's in that Linklater Waking Life still. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Okay, all right. I saw he got a new film coming out.
Mm.
I'm not into that. That look.
No,
No,
it's weird.
I don't. I like the film. I thought the film was good. Like I remember that Waking Life. I was like, there were elements that were interesting. When it gets really weird, you know what I mean? Like when it gets kind of loose, I really like. But
Yeah.
when it plays it safe, because he did another one after that, that I was kind of like, I don't know. This is somehow more boring than like bad
They're
photography.
just having it filmed.
Yeah, you know, like I mean, I like film. You know, like I
Mhm.
think because film is really an altering of reality too. It's like, you know, it's
Right,
no
for sure.
different. I mean, it is a lot different than drawing. It's mechanical
Yeah.
in ways that are, you know,
No, but it's transformative. It's effective.
yeah,
Affective. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I totally interrupted you, Ron. I'm sorry.
but anyway, no, I interrupted myself. I like what he's doing though. I just wish I like that he's making films. I wish he wasn't making those.
Look like that. All right, wait. Okay, this is a good opportunity for me to ask the supplemental question, Marcus. This is the question I'm
Right.
thinking we should just be asking our
Okay.
guests.
Yeah.
We can even with the expletive. What the fuck have you been up to during the pandemic? How has the pandemic changed your shit? Like, you haven't been on here in years. Like, is it business as usual? Are you dutifully at your drawing table just as you ever were,
No,
or no?
I mean, I'm drawing, you know, like right now I'm in a really big um I'm really crushing on something right now. I'm
Mm,
crushing on my last, I think, commercial illustration slash comic job
mm,
for the foreseeable future. Like probably, you know, like, you know, we talked about this a little bit and we'll talk around it. We won't necessarily talk deep into it, but like maybe I think a year or two before lockdown, Legendary option Prince of Cats. So
mm.
from that point, I started to I'll answer all your questions so you don't have to ask me anymore. Like I started to
Ron's gonna interview himself now. Everybody relax.
yeah, no. I mean around this particular thing, right? Because it's tiresome to me, right? So like, but so we started to work on that. Like I gave a little bit of help. We had a script. I did a rewrite of the script with
Mm,
Spike. Spike, I believe, moved on,
mhm,
and but I continued to write various things, working on sort of like building other projects. One of which is my own based on a comic, and that's kind of what I've been doing for the most part.
Is
I've
it Sunset
I've done,
Park? Can I
yeah,
ask
yeah,
about
yeah.
Sunset Park?
Yeah, you can ask me. I mean, I put a comic out for that in lab. I probably won't talk about anything else to, you know,
I'm just
specific.
happy that you're working on it, man. I'm just happy
Yeah,
you're
I'm
working on
always
it.
working on it,
I
bro.
know.
Like
I know.
I did a whole bunch of pages that I didn't even like. I'm never gonna use. So, um, but
For
that's the
any
kind.
listen, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ron. For any listeners who don't know what Sunset Park is, would you mind telling them the steez?
Sure. Sunset Park is I'll try not to spoil anything. Sunset Park is a story of three New Yorkers who find themselves haunted um, in odd ways. They each find themselves moving to a particular neighborhood in Brooklyn called Sunset Park, uh, and slowly the mundane elements of their fucked up art and romantic lives coalesce into a grand haunting. It's a what you would call a gothic horror
Hmm.
story, a gothic romance, you know, except it's contemporary. Um, and that's actually probably that's the most I actually want to say about it right now
Okay.
because
All right.
one is, you know, one it's like I don't want someone to I don't care if people bite. I just don't want someone to, spoil a surprise, or maybe even someone bite, but like they break their teeth on the idea
Hmm.
Mm.
because it's hard.
I feel like it's your baby. I feel like it's like become your baby, and
I don't
it's
have
exciting,
babies.
man. It's
Oh,
exciting,
shit.
man.
I'm definitely, when it comes to babies, I definitely be going out, to get a pack of smokes and never coming back. So
Rob's
I
an
don't tell
absentee
them.
father of his own art.
Yeah, I don't tell a baby. It's something I'm really. You know what I want to do is, and I don't think I have. I'm not gonna say I don't have the discipline. I have a different type of discipline, but like how the Hernandez brothers put out like like
Hmm.
every once in a while, they off. I would like to put
Yeah.
out Sunset Park like that for a little while, and I'm
Mm.
exploring how to
Oh,
do
okay.
compressed stories, but like decompressed storytelling. You know what I mean? Like
Uh huh. Uh
be
huh.
more poetic about it, because like, I really don't. To be honest, like there's so many different things that I want to do. I don't see myself doing,
Like
you know.
snagging on it. Like let me just get this out there, and then like I'm working on the million other things I'm working on.
Yeah, I mean, like I want to have fun with what I'm doing, and like I just don't find it fun to do. I don't know what Prince of Cats is like 2 years or something, and it's off and on, and you're doing
Hmm.
whatever, and then I'm probably doing other things while I'm doing it. I'm like, what I would rather do is take a month or two off, front to back, knock out like 20 pages or more or less, make a cool looking zine about it, and then
Hmm.
put that out. And then maybe next year I do it again. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but
Right. Right.
I'd rather not be like, all right, I'm going to sit down at this table and draw like 200, 300 pages. Like, I don't really think I have anything to say that requires that. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like,
mm.
if I have something to say that requires that, I might work in film or animation. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's right.
Right. So like Beto like will just put out Sloth and then like keep it moving, and then maybe like another 11 Rockets is coming out, but it's like he just dropped that. Boom.
Right. You know what I mean? Like something, I mean, I'm not gonna, I just can't produce on that level. It's not, um, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like a poser because I do not have that. I have a different art comics practice than like a lot of the people who I know,
I'd
you
have
know.
to agree just based based on knowing your shit. I'd have to agree.
Do you mind expanding on that a little bit? Or
Um, I don't know. I think if a homie of mine, we were talking about different people who had like, I can't, I was kind of like flexing, and I was like, yo, it's not a lot of people who have as like many lanes as I have in comics. And we were like thinking like who has, like who's doing all of these different things, or who has this amount of like versatility.
Hmm.
And he said, and then I mentioned at one point, I was like, yo, Jamie Hewlett, we were talking about Jamie Hewlett. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, he said something that kind of like stung me. He's in his own lane. I'm like, if I wanted to, like that's something I would aspire to be, is like, okay, well,
That.
I would like to be in the Jamie Hewlett lane. It's like he started out in animation, I believe, did the comics thing. And then like for a while we didn't even hear from him. And then boom, Gorillas, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, he
yeah.
sold, like he had his movie optioned or whatever, and he kept it moving, you know what I mean? Like, so I think that's kind of, it's like I work in advertising, like I'm creative directing something right now, like I, work in advertising a little bit. I get a job here, one off there. It's like kind of managing my life economically as like an art director and an illustrator. Like it's like I almost, have a little bit of the schizophrenia in the sense that like I'm a sort of like an agent manager and like an artist, a commercial
Mm-hmm.
artist.
Mm.
And so you know, I've been doing that for years and years and years. And then at the as well as doing the comics thing. And then late last year I was at Thought Bubble, and I got a call from my management, and they were like, bruh, like we just checking to see if you really want to do this thing. Like I've been trying to juggle doing jobs and also directing an animated short. And they were like, yo, do you want to do this? I was like, yo, I want to do it. And it's like, yeah, maybe you want to like stop doing this other shit for a little while. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So at which point I was like, okay, well, that's what I'm gonna do. And I put the brakes on that work then, and I'm still doing the things I said yes to last year. Like that's how it works. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so hopefully I'll be free of that end of April, and hopefully my management doesn't watch this. I don't think they will.
Well, it's funny you bring up Hewlett, and it's like because Hewlett was doing whenever Hewlett's quiet, it's because he's getting like paid a ridiculous amount to do a bunch of corporate shit. And he does like a bunch of like cool like commercial stuff, and then like he's back, doing like whatever. Gorillas is such a massive beast now that I mean it is practically all he could do, and it'd be perfectly fine. But yeah, he like I get the idea of that crafted lane, and I have to insist, while being I would say a bit underread on his interviews, I would have to insist that he definitely like hashed his own path through the gravel in that way, because there's not a lot of comic artists you could point to like who had that journey.
Leo, can I say something?
Please,
As
please.
like a huge fan of Koike, I'm looking at the drawing behind you, and like you're talking, and I'm just so bothered by the fact that the line above her forearm is maybe supposed to be her shoulder.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a little off, bro. The drawing is just a little bit off, and it's driving me nuts. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it was ever meant to be seen for more.
It's a frame. I know. It's a frame of a messy style animation.
You're really kind of putting your boy out there like that. And I want to let you know.
That's the most
man.
artist thing.
Oh my god.
I want to let you know. Don't ever do that to me. You know what I mean? Like if you ever don't ever put like a single frame up from an animation. It's like you illustrations. It happens with illustration too, but you know what I mean.
I think it's rubbery, but I see a beauty in it still. Like even
it's almost like her shoulder, like right above the forearm, where it's like I would have done it. It's like I would have done like a little bit. I would have had the shoulder come up a little bit more there, and then like just to show.
Well, and then also. You're cropping it in a way as well that might even accentuate, what I mean, like bring the attention
by being in here. Yeah, I actually
now I can't not see it.
It's not one of these, you know what I mean?
Right,
it's
right.
One of these, so
yeah. My bad, dude. This is
see where my shoulder is like further out right here?
Yes.
Yeah, but we're a little bit higher looking. That
also I feel like
your camera angle is slightly different.
In the shot there's like some slight fisheye shit going on too, like in the actual shot, like just a touch of it, not fully, but that's how they're taking that perspective.
This is going to be a mess in audio.
No one's going to know what if people watch cartoons and serial, they'll know, because I've had this background for a bit. This is like one of my favorite anime, but
it's so good, bro. It's so good. He's so good.
It's just beautiful.
He's so good.
It fucking fills my heart.
I aspire to be, on that level, like Peter Chung, Koike, Kawajiri,
Peter Chung's the god. We talk Peter Chung all the time on the show, because we watch, one of the things on Cartoon Serial, we regularly watch Cops, which he did the designs for, and he did the intro for. Yeah, we do.
That's the appropriate reaction.
Yes, no, that was one of the things that started us watching like Saturday morning cartoons on the weekends. Was that Marcus and I were talking about, you remember Cops and shit like that, and we like got into it. But his like that the Cops intro, that was like the only thing, the only animation Peter Chung did for that show is like one of the greatest animated intros ever of any cartoon. Like
he already did Ninja Turtles too. Like he did Ninja Turtles. He did
really good.
What's the one? Rugrats. Like he's got a murderer's role.
He's a genius. He's a master.
Yeah.
He's a master.
So
yeah, no, for sure. And even though he doesn't do the animation in the show, his designs sing. Like they're using his designs, and they're great. Like his designs are fucking awesome.
That's a G move though. Like that's the way to do it. Like, just drop a little something and be like, I'm out. Drop a verse.
Yes. Yes, indeed. No, it's true. It's like fucking like Method Man on that classic Biggie joint. What's the song that Method Man
the
did
what?
with Biggie?
The what?
On the what? Like Method Man on the what?
Yeah.
It's like
I shit you not. Just the other night, I was so I had I was playing like the pink vinyl, the food vinyl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got all the way to the end. I had never listened to this. I had never listened to the end yet, but I was listening to it. And I got to the end, and it's a version without the Cookie Monster Sesame Street sample.
Right.
So then I was trying to explain to the homie, like, I hate when they do this, right? Um, and I first of all, I ordered another version of food, like with the original sample on it.
Uh,
Second, I went and I told him, like, yo, so listen to this version of Machine Gun Funk on Ready to Die. And then I played that, and then I played the old version with the original, like, you know, the original sample on it.
Wait,
And
I only know the original. What did they? How did
Yeah,
they
I'm
they
change it?
took out like this weird choir that's in it. Like, you know, when the hook drops in, there's like a weird choir, like a kind of vocal sample, and also
Mhm.
like a yeah, they might also take out this, I don't even know what sound it is. It's like a kind of really distressed horn or something. But like,
Okay.
if you listen to
but it's
whatever,
affected.
if you
Mhm.
listen to it on Spotify or whatever, what you're gonna
Yeah.
hear is
No.
not the version that like I grew up listening
Oh,
to.
see, now I
There
gotta
is
hear
shit like
this.
that. There is shit
Oh,
like
no,
that.
no, no.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
irritating.
feel like I
Oh.
sidetracked you. I feel like I sidetracked you, but you were.
Oh.
It's
I
sorry.
feel
Sorry
like I
about that.
sidetracked everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
bullshit. Um, wait, where?
See, now
Oh,
I gotta hear this. Oh
wait.
my God.
Briefly, Regine the Queen in the chat mentioned
One
she
second.
follows you on Instagram, and you were making some tasty cocktails in the beginning of the
Oh
pandemic
yeah,
going
that's
on.
what I was doing.
Okay, that's what
Yeah, but I had to stop.
she answered your interview question for you.
Yeah, I didn't want to destroy my body. But see, like that's but that, you know, but like, see, that's the highlight reel though. You know what I mean? Like, really, that was
Right.
me. You know, I had a bunch of bottles. That's like I was entertaining myself. Like I was making things, you know, very basic things, or like, but figuring out how I would make them at home as opposed to like going out, you know.
That's good shit though. That's self care.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm?
yeah. It's self-care and self-destruction at once, which is like sometimes it bees like that. You know?
All right, all right. I do want to talk about the Kickstarter a bit.
Right.
Yeah, okay,
That's
let's
one
go.
of the main reasons we got you on here.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yes.
then
Let's
we'll
get to
come
the
back to
Kickstarter.
food.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. That's funny because and Marcus and I were talking about Grim before, but yeah. So there's a big, beautiful, ridiculous Kickstarter. It's almost funded. Very happy to
Yeah,
see that today. Very excited. I have supported it at way too high a tier.
I
Uh,
appreciate that.
yeah, man. No, it's it's all love. But yeah, like so I guess like yeah, like it's interesting because a lot of times we have Kickstarter folks on here who are talking about their projects and they're inaccessible like for a time.
Mhm.
Gratnan is 100% not inaccessible at
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Anybody can like jump in and like check it out.
yeah.
It's on Webtoons. We'll share a link. We'll share a link to Kickstarter as well. But I feel like in line with like some of like Labs productions, some of
Mhm.
Labs previous productions, it's like you're like, no, we're gonna give this. We're gonna put a little extra mustard on this shit. We're gonna make like
Oh, for sure.
an objet d'art
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
really
for
get this
sure.
going. So yeah, I guess like if you could talk a little bit about what Gratnan is and maybe like how you approached this particular Kickstarter, this particular concept.
That was a good setup because like I think it allows me to, or it reminds me, because I'm still, after all these years, I'm not the best at this sort of thing, but it helps me out because uh when you're talking about it, like it is all of the comics are on Webtoon, but like I would say the reason the reason why it is like an art object is but it's also a new, the packaging of it makes it another way, another, I guess, deeper dive into the story. Like there's more story in this box set. Like there's more, you will definitely know more about the world and the characters from this set than from
Hmm.
the web.
Okay.
And like that was sort of, so design problems, right? Like two design problems were for me at least, were for the team. We're like, how can this be, how do we present in a way that's like tailored to reading this Infinite Scroll comic
Mm.
for like a reader on paper, like a physical medium.
Mhm.
And how can I yeah, what can I do? How can I do something new? You know what I mean? Something that I didn't do in the webtoon, you know? So And sort of the solution for the former, which is not as interesting as the latter, even though it's still pretty interesting. It's like, oh, I had these maps that I was doing at first. I was, I even had like a mock-up. I don't know if I always lose where I put this shit. But I made like a little a mock-up
of the subway map.
Yeah. Actually, a homie helped me put it together. I don't know where I put this shit at, but yeah, it might be on the magazine, right? But like, so I did that. I was really into it because I just wanted to do a subway map. So speaking of, the second problem, I wanted to do a subway map as an expansion of the story. So you could look at the subway map and get narrative and kind of like understand the map of the world. It's like, if you're playing Final Fantasy and you on the map and you're like, oh snap, okay, so what's that? What's this? Like, it's suggesting you all these different places that you can go and things that are happening. And like, I've already worked out a lot of the story around that, you know what I mean? But like, I haven't drawn it, and I may never draw it as a comic, but like, I was thinking about how can I suggest what the world is in a way like, meet an audience halfway where they can build some of that world on their own, like imagine what it is. And maybe be disappointed whenever I make like the, like whenever I come out and say what it is.
I'm one of the folks, and maybe this is just like, like just being a New Yorker, but like, I think the MTA map is like one of my favorite pieces of art of all time.
I mean,
yeah.
it is.
Fucking love. I adore. Like tangibly just adore the subway map.
And let's just say, like, in the times that I have not lived in New York, and that includes now, I still make sure that I have something from like the subway. So in my office, I have like a subway sign from the Bronx.
Yep.
That I bought. You know what I mean? And even when I was in Syracuse, I had something to be like, no, this is something that always reminds me of home, which is why the subway map for this Kickstarter is absolutely my favorite thing. It's absolutely my favorite thing.
The subway is life, man. The subway is fucking life. I may frame
that shit and put it in my office.
Hells yeah.
I may frame that shit and put it in my office.
So listen, part of me doing this is like, I'm making that shit for me. I'm definitely gonna frame my shit. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like the Vignelli joint. You know what I mean? It's like the joint from the 70s. You know what I mean? Like, so it's got that kind of.
Oh, right.
See, that hits.
Yeah, that classic shit.
Oh, that hits.
So, and it's like, it shows you the shadow New York. It's like what the ninja know. Anyway, so, and that was another way of dealing with it. So we decided, okay, well, maybe it's easier to read it in a different way. We experimented with different ways, and like we kind of settled on the accordion, and like it hits, you know what I mean? So like we're gonna do that, and then like we're gonna have these other things in it. We're gonna have the collector cards, you know what I mean? Everybody gets the card, you know what I mean? Like, so that allows me to tell more story than I did on the in the webtoon, which is like I'm just excited about, because it's like, there's so much stuff. Like I tend to think about, I talk to people about stories sometimes, and like my approach in the past has been, and even in Prince of Cats, you can see this a little bit, is like, okay, so each character is a candle, right? And like, I kind of want to tell a story about the world that they're in, as well as, their story. But like, I'll put a candle here, I'll put a candle there, I'll put a candle here. And like, as they accumulate, you get a better idea of like, not just, them as a point of light, but also the environment around them. And like, this light casts a counter light on that one and on each other. It's like, okay, when you add this candle, then like you get to understand this character in a different way. And like, if you add a third candle, it's like, wow. So like, okay, I thought this guy was a great guy, but like now I've seen how he's related to this character, and he's like, oh, he's complicated. You know what I mean? Like, and like also like I see structurally how this environment is affecting all of them. You know what I mean? Like, so that's my approach. And so like, to be able to do the map and to do the cards, like we didn't get into comics, but one of the comics and like superhero comics, but one of the ways that I think I first experienced superhero comics, or I know, was my friend's sort of like Marvel collector cards. You know what I mean?
Oh, hells yes.
Yeah. So like, I wasn't reading a bunch of the comics, you know what I mean? As much as like going through the card decks and being like, okay, so this character, oh
Yeah.
shoot, like Doom teamed up with Magneto. It's like, oh, this character had this, that, and the third. And like, I just like that way more than kind of reading a 22-page comic where essentially someone just like, I don't know, walks across the street and it's like, in the next issue, it's like, wait, bro, like you hardly did anything. And like, also I gotta read like whatever other issue just to know like why you're here and shit like that, which I play on in Gratuitous. Like I like that. I use it as a pastiche sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's that's interesting. And like, and I mean, like for anybody that like that hasn't read it yet, like I definitely urge you do.
Should we get into the story too? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, we absolutely can. But I guess just structurally, like, which I know this is, I'm without even asking Ron, I know this is something you thought about, but structurally, like the idea of the scroll, like the scroll. Aside from, I'm not even talking about conceptually, like in terms of like scrolls, like actual, like, you know, scroll documents, but the scroll in the actual comic is like used frequently to like imply motion, to like shift, like to like do these like crazy camera moves. There's a trick you do at Grattan, which I really like, which you don't do a million times, but when you do it, it like sings, where like it has the effect of a camera like swinging panorama like from above. Like, you know, like when the dude's on the boat and then it like swings out and then you see like him running away. It's a really nifty fucking trick. It's a very, very good trick. And I pay attention to that shit for like, I remember, I don't know if you even remember this, but like many, many years ago, there was this site called Girl-O-Matic, which was like a paid comic site. You had to pay like $3 or $5 a month or something. There were some creators on there that I loved, and all of them were online comics. It was very early in terms of like online web comics. And all of them were scrollers. Like every comic was a scroller. So like creators that I loved, the comics they made on Girl-O-Matic were like totally different than comics they made like in printed form, because they all of them tried in some way to like adapt to the idea of the scroll, to the idea of that as a, you know, as a physical interaction, as like, you know, to like move the story. It's super, super interesting. In fact, there are tons of webcomics that even have scrolls that don't particularly do it, but Gratuitous does like all the time. So like when I saw your Kickstarter and I saw like the format concept, I was like,
how the fuck is it going?
It's like, well, this is how he's gonna like how else could you, like, because I wouldn't want to lose that that motion energy, that kinetic energy that you get from actually scrolling, because I do think you apply it, you wield it in a cool way on webtoons. So I mean, this seems like, you know, this is it just tracks. It just makes fucking sense.
Well, yeah, that's what we decided on, you know, like, and I think it's just what made most sense to us at the time. It's funny, when I first started out, I would do pages, different versions. Like the first one is drawn as a comic. And then I
panels, boom, the whole thing.
Yeah, like a spread.
Yeah.
So then what I essentially did was the opposite of what I'm doing now. Is like I moved that into that different format, like editing almost, right? And but as I worked, it kind of evolved into, like, I started to work in columns, still on paper, but like, you know, like, you know, columns. If you want, like, I don't know.
Oh, you got it? You got it to show?
Yeah, man.
Oh, hells yeah.
Wow. I
didn't even think to ask. Marcus, did you have some super important question that I interrupted you on?
No.
I'm sorry, man. I'm like,
no, I just want to. I mean, we should just for anyone who has
the story to like tell the story of Grattan. Yeah. No, you're right.
You're
right. We should get into that. We should definitely get into that. Yeah, because it's dope.
So keep it. Like here's like an abbreviated evolution of Grattan pages. This is episode 1, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Then I started to do kind of like, I don't know, I would draw single panels, you know. Here's an example of a single panel. And I would arrange them in a, you know, in a grid that I would draw by hand and then space out and do the lettering by hand on it, often like the bubbles and stuff. Then by the time I got like toward like the final version was this.
Oh shit.
Oh.
So like I would do them in columns, you know what I mean? Like if you could see.
Right.
Yeah. And like kind of what that would look like, you know.
That's so dope.
But there's a gang of them. Right?
Yeah.
So four columns per page that I would work on, and about 4 screens. So like screens correlating to panels. And for the accordion, it does, like, I'm still, like, I'm editing it, like I'm adding space, like I'm changing some things. Like I may have even, I'm not gonna, I don't remember. I've done a few already, like, we're still working, but like, I don't know if I've drawn it. I've written some new things. I had to change something. But yeah, it's gonna be a little different than what's online.
That's
Cool.
dope.
And for anyone where this is their first time hearing about Gratinan, can you just let them know what it is and what it's about?
Certainly. I'm gonna tell you about this particular story, and then probably the setup for the universe. We'll do it in opposite. The setup for the grand story, where we're on Gratinan KGMR. What you'll get in the box set, it's gonna be called Episode 4. It's not some Star Wars shit. It's just like, it's a pastiche of like a long running comic, and it's a story I wanted to tell in a story that I've already kind of worked out. But like, this is the part of the
This
story.
is the entry
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
We're checking in on them here.
You were checking in on them here, and in this world, what has happened is, so New York is rotten with ninja. The ninja came to New York after the Shimabara Rebellion. They were following the Dutch. There's this one clan that lives out in Brooklyn, like on the Gowanus Canal. They, after the Civil War, they kind of like, we're not going to participate in the American civil life anymore. We're not going to use our ninjutsu to that end. So they kind of become like pacifists. They're doing like community work, you know what I mean? But like, they're kind of hippies by the time we meet them. But what happens is, the city wants to move their housing. They're like their ancestral home from off the Gowanus. And so the only protection they could get is with the Ninja Union. But they haven't participated in, the ninja community in New York for so long. They have no new recruits. So in order for them to participate, they have to participate in kind of like a big ninja, like everybody's seen Naruto, right? Like, where they got to fight each other. So they have to recruit 3 new recruits to participate in that. And that's who these 3 new students who are from the New York area. They haven't been raised on the shit, but because of the way they've lived their lifestyle, they are organic ninja intellectuals. They have like ninja skills that they've developed from just like being, one is a delivery man, like this kind of prefigures DoorDash. But
yeah,
like,
I was gonna say. Yeah, DoorDash elite.
It's crazy. It's crazy. He's like, he's an elite DoorDash guy. Another is, and this is something that was happening when I was there. She delivers weed, which, who knows, by the time kids are reading this in like 5-10 years, maybe the weed delivery person who's like, doing it, outside of the law doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But that was her. That's how she developed her skills. And then the Vandal Vigilante 9-1, who's like, she developed her skills kind of bombing. You know what I mean? So they get recruited. And where we come in, they've decided to go against their teacher's edict, or not edict, but wishes to use the ninjutsu in the street. It's like, yo, let's do some hero shit. And they do some hero shit. And it winds up, they wind up getting 2 young kids who kind of, they're street cats. They're outside. They're hustlers. They end up on a I won't go. You can start there, but they confront these 2 guys, and like, it unravels, and they learn a lesson about the system. They use their ninja skills to be heroes, and it gets more complicated than that.
It's hella more complicated because, right, like the presentation how Gratinan starts is like heroes versus villains, but the villains aren't really villain. I mean, everybody's kind of a villain,
Right.
everybody's kind of a hero type shit, Like, you get into it. That's good. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
I think that's a good intro. It's a good intro to get appetites
Yeah,
watering.
I mean it's a ninja. Like the I had to. I was asked to kind of do like taglines, log lines, all
Uh,
that stuff. And I was like, yo, it's a woke Naruto. You know what I mean? But like, I think Naruto, up until Pain at the very least, is pretty. I mean, it's it's got you got your problematic Sakura shit. Like, but it's pretty woke. Like, I think Gratnin is kind of like my response, or like, yeah, it's a response kind of to both Naruto and uh older comics, because I when I was watching Naruto, I was like, yo, this is low key about restorative justice. You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
he's going around and trying to like bring people back into the community who have left the community. Like, the community is sick. You know what I mean? Like, and people did some really bad things. And what stuck out to me about Naruto all the time is like, yo, it don't matter if somebody killed their whole family. This cat is like, but turn your life around and reintegrate into our society. You know what I
okay.
mean? Like,
Okay.
it culminates with in Pain. Like, Pain is what finally sold me on Naruto. Like, I had watched, some of the original, and I was
I'm
watching.
absolutely not informed on this, by the way. But I mean,
Yeah,
you
no worries.
go off, player.
And I was watching Shippuden because like, um, it's just got a lot of great Sakuga in it, and some of the animation is really free. Like, it's closer to Looney Tunes than like
Hmm.
some other anime. But anime is diverse, right? Like,
Sure.
let's watch that shit. Like, there's all types of anime.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, some of the for an action grounded or fantasy anime, um some of the animation got really loose in very interesting
Yeah.
ways.
Sometimes
So
they put shoulders in weird places. When like chicks are firing
yeah,
guns.
yeah, no, no,
Sometimes
no.
that shit goes down.
No, stop it. I've seen this, Evan. I've seen this. But anyway, you shouldn't
I
put the
feel you.
freeze
I
frame up
feel
there.
you.
Yo. You did that to him. I didn't do that
I
to him.
Right.
restarted this. I restarted this. That's on me.
Koike, I love you, bro.
That's on
Like,
me.
don't
That's
don't
on
do it
me.
to me. Yeah. Yeah, so and then it got to this point when like Naruto could not beat the guy. Like, who has Goku faced where he was like, damn, all right, well, here's my argument because I can't beat
Uh,
you.
uh,
So like, no offense to all y'all Goku stands out there. But like, he's a bad father. So like,
it's true.
yeah. I think, you know, maybe some of that is coming out in Gratnin as well, just kind of being like, okay, well, I'm working in this UFO, so
Yeah,
the ninja UFO.
right. And I mean, like, I mean, obviously, for anyone listening, like, I mean, I think it probably is obvious, but it can't be overstated that, a big part of it too is just like New York as a backdrop, or like this kind of skewed New
Mm.
York, as it is. You got farmers markets in there. You got people fighting at Supreme on that hype shit. Like, it's got that stuff. It's got that stuff in there. It's got that spice in there. But it does have like, it's got a lot of mystery. It has a lot of action. It has a fuck of a lot of culture, and has some really really cool ideas. Which I feel like, yeah, like you stopped talking, right. I guess I won't say it because you didn't say it, but you stopped
Mhm.
talking before some like very interesting ideas that like are introduced with
Mm.
this with these with what first happens in episode 4 as it starts.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, like, it's dope,
I don't
man.
want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it for
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
so.
I feel
Yeah.
you. I feel you. No, that's good. And the art's beautiful. And it's also, and you have
Oh,
some collaborators on
yeah,
this
that's what I was
project.
about to say.
Yeah.
Like, man, I
Right.
mean, come for me, stay for Freddie, man. Like, Fred
Yeah.
Carrasco is on there, and like, he's one of like the, when he wants to, what I mean? Like, he doesn't do many comics, and we've probably already lost him to other things, at least for a little while.
Hmm.
But yeah, he's in there, and like, I don't know, one of my favorite cartoonists of his generation, which is kind of my generation, maybe a little, maybe not, I don't know.
Talking about Afu-chan.
Afu's in there too. He's
Afu's
got
up
like
in there.
so Afu came in to, like, I needed a sub at one point, you know what I mean? So like, because I had too much to do. And so I needed a collaborator. And Afu kind of he was gonna come on for a bit, but I forget what went down. I think like he like fucked off and did Marvel shit. And so then I needed to find somebody else, and that's how I ended up with Freddie. I don't know, ask Afu, he might remember better than me. But like, yeah, so what we did is we took his version of episode 7, and we're including that as a remix. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
okay.
how I work with my collaborators is I would write the script, and I essentially wrote the script almost like a breakdown. You know what I mean? So somewhere in between, like writing but also drawing. I gave those breakdowns to Afu and then subsequently to Freddie, and so they're working off the breakdown. So what you get on episode 7 is bugged because it's like the same layouts except with 2 different artists on it. It's fucking cool. It's literally like a comics remix. It's like, oh, this is one person's take on this storytelling and this script. And here's like, yeah, here are 2 of the most interesting cartoonists, out right now. They're 2 different takes on the same script and breakdowns. Which is like, I don't know where you're gonna see that. Like I mean, that itself is a crazy oddity. I probably would spend a good amount of money just to see that. But I mean, you can read it, but you'll see I do a little something on Freddie's, maybe not on that episode, but on Freddie's, I changed the pacing a little bit towards the end because just so things can hit on the page break. Because like what we have in the and on my own too, what we have in this version that we don't have on online on your phone is page breaks.
Right. Page folds.
Yeah.
Right.
Accordion comics. Has there been an accordion comic?
There's plenty. I got one. You probably are looking at one right now. Hold up.
I'm trying to think. I had I remember that I had this like crazy book by Edward Gorey that was not exactly an accordion comic, but it was a stretched out one. What is that? I don't know that shit.
Ezian by Le Courant d'Art. We were talking about this before by Brian Mondrian. De Bern Mondrian. I don't know what this. I bought it just for the pictures. It was at Angoulême.
Dope.
Yeah.
And it's all one. It's all boom. It's
all one.
All right.
I'm not gonna like accidentally like drop it and tear it in half.
That's dope though. That's dope. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I got one of those in my collection.
I have 0. Well,
yeah, I don't think I got an accordion book. Yeah, I'm gonna have one too.
I'll soon have one.
Right.
I have one that's like folded up too. By I think it's here. Yeah, I mean I got a lot of them. But it was by Nick Bertozzi. He did one.
Okay.
When I first was thinking about doing the Ratanina as a subway map, I talked to Nick about it, and Nick gave me his fold-up comic, which is pretty interesting too.
Huh. So, okay. Dope.
Another New Yorker, Nick.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no shortage of cartoonists in New York.
A dope New York comic smoke? No, there isn't. That's the case. I didn't know you came up with Teddy. That's funny. I haven't seen him in forever. Like I hung out with him like a year ago. We have not hung out in LA like enough times. I hang out with him and his brother. I've seen Turner more recently than I've seen Teddy.
Yeah. I mean, he's out there working.
He is. No, I know he is. He's out doing his thing. But I gotta catch up with that dude. That's what's up.
Man. That's the homie. Yeah, we went to Pratt together.
That's awesome. No, he's the man. I love his shit. Yeah, all right.
If it wasn't for Ted, I might not be doing comics. Ted and Julian are probably the reasons why, or 2 big reasons why I'm doing comics. Because when I was first starting out, like those were the cats I hung out with, and they kind of. It's interesting too because Julian's always been like he's been in the heroes and stuff, and like I was never really into them heavy. Like I like to play the video games, but I never really got into reading. I would read 1 or 2. Like I read like Dark Knight Returns and stuff. Like I like to read some of those. But I didn't get into them heavy. But it's like between Ted and Julian, I kind of had a space to kind of you know, particularly like black folk in New York that I could hang out with and talk form and like, you know, go like me and Julian used to do runs to the comic book stores, like shout out to Jim Hanley's and you know Forbidden Planet. Like we would
Were you a Time Machine person? You go to Rogers
Hidden
Time Machine?
Planet. Love it.
You go to Rogers? All right.
Where's Time Machine at?
Time Machine used to be above a nail salon on 14th Street. It was it is
Bro,
it
yeah,
now
yeah,
shifted.
yeah.
It was a majestic palace, and now it's shifted to like a tiny spot. But I think
What
it's
was the
still around.
spot on was it West 8th Street? You know, I used to be over there like between like right like a block in from 6th Avenue.
Oh, you talking about the upstairs shit?
Yeah, that's what I thought you were
That's
talking
not
about.
Time Machine. I forgot
Okay.
that one. I used to go there because I had a friend who
Yeah.
lived down the block from there. His parents were
Oh,
rich.
word, yeah.
Yeah, and like we
I
used to
bought,
go
I
to that
bought
spot.
fish from the pet store that used to be right there. I used to get hats. I got my furry Kango at the hat shop that was
That's
right
like
there.
near
Oh,
House of
snap.
Nubian. That's near where House of Nubian was.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
That beach was around the corner right there too, or it used to be.
And Grace Papaya was like up there.
Yep. That was on the corner. Yeah.
That friggin' I don't remember the name of that comic shop, but I used to go there regularly because he did, and we used to like go in there. They had lots of boxes. They had long boxes all over the place.
I got a chip in my tooth. There used to be a little restaurant, a French restaurant around the corner from there. I chipped my tooth on a steak there.
That's a Yelp review. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, Time Machine's all right. I just wanted to know because Time Machine was like when I was in New York, like every time I came back, I like could not go there. Roger at Time Machine was like the G. He knew like all the old New York cats too.
Man.
Yeah, man, I'm not. You're making me talking to you is making me homesick, like for real. Like not even joking. Not even joking.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
great here.
All right. All right. We should get into a little bit of free chat here. What do you guys been cooking? I know y'all did that thing. I know y'all watched that Disney production, that Disney piece.
I mean, we can wait to speak about it.
Can you wait?
Yeah,
Can you wait?
I didn't see the second episode.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
If you can wait, I didn't want to. We're gonna meet. We're gonna have a show Friday, so we go. All right, if you want to hold till Friday, that's dope.
Yeah,
What are you guys talking about?
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
I haven't picked it yet. Yeah, talking about heroes.
Did it come up yet? Did it come? Is it just the first episode or?
It's
weekly. Yeah,
I think we're on
the second one came out
episode 2.
today.
Yeah. I'm gonna probably watch it right after this.
There's a brother in that, right? Like lead actor, right? Isn't it?
There's Oscar Isaacs. Oscar Isaacs is in that. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Might have some other folks. I don't know. You guys could comment on that, but yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I was curious.
I haven't gotten to see Atlanta episode.
I've only seen the first ep. After we talked, I watched the first ep. I've only seen the first
So
ep.
you got all right. Watch it by Friday, Tony, because we've got to speak. I mean, I just want to speak about the season opener, man.
The first ep is amazing. The first ep is
amazing. Yeah.
It's very good.
I don't even want to say anything until
Tony watches. I need to. It's like, yo, I gotta hurry up and get out here before this motherfucker take up all the ideas.
There's a lot of them.
It's like, it's just funny because one of the things that's great about him and also kind of like frustrating is there's so many things where it's just like, I just feel like we get so many people doing the same kind of corny, like, oh, it's almost like, bro, like you could have gotten these takes from just kind of like, 20 years
Twitter.
ago.
No, he goes deeper.
He goes deeper.
Right? He goes deeper.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and I'm like, and I mean, one of the things that how I feel about that is like, great, you guys don't do any of that shit, because like when I'm on, I'm gonna, I'm putting that shit on blast. And here come this nigga. You know what I mean? Like fuck, bro. But it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. I mean, I loved it, and it's a different standpoint. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
One thing that's great about him is that like he's not afraid to be specific about the story he tells. But like one of the specific things about the story that he's telling is like, look, I too am an artist who's kind of been like, with broke but got a little bit of money in his pocket and then just was like traveling the world and shit, right? So we have anecdotes that, if not the same, rhyme. You know what I mean? So like that's the thing that's kind of like, you know, it's like it's really, you know, it vibrates though when it's like, you know, that party that he was in, and like the young kid, you know what I mean, who's hustling, you know what I mean, and like that whole shit is just like, you know, you gotta true it, you know, like you wanna amen that, like when you see it, it's like, wow, okay, yeah, that's some shit that, like, you know, first of all, that could be its own show, that shit. You know what I mean? Like that particular phenomenon, you know, like that type of situation. But yeah, no, I love that show. I love it even more. Like that first episode was like, okay, here we go. You know, what's great is his ability to completely defy some of the narrative conventions that, like, I mean, he paid his dues. You know what I mean? So like he can do that, but it's just like, yeah, they will have you if you're not careful. You know, it's people aren't just doing the same old bullshit for nothing. It's like they want you to do the same old bullshit. You know what I mean? Like people, you know, because like it's scary, and it's not. I don't know if it's like if you can blame anyone, you can kind of blame the market. Big scare quotes. You know what I mean? The market will have people kind of like reproducing the same shit, and like maybe, you know, if you want to do something different, it's like a speculative. It's like a speculative market. Like the market is more interested in, like, you know, imaginary money, or like turning, you know, fine art into, you know, they already were, you know, attaching, you know, tattoo slash art to financial instruments. They're into doing that before they'd be interested into, like, you know, taking a chance on a story, you know, like it's anyway. I'm gonna stop rambling. Where did everybody go?
Yo, sorry,
we're still here.
Yeah. I missed it. I had to go drain it. I missed it. What's going on? We're still belly aching about Glover.
No, belly aching.
No.
Belly
we're speaking about the impact of capitalism upon creative people, and the ways in which it can you know, cause repetition.
I'll do you one better. I'll say that I think one of the beautiful things about, like, the work that he specifically does in Atlanta, and this is something I noticed, Marcus, even back in the day. See, Ron, Marcus and I met back in the open mic poetry scene in upstate New York. In upstate New York, because I moved to upstate New York for 7 years. It was very cold. But that's where Marcus and I met.
Saul is from there though. Saul is from upstate, right? Like Saul is from.
He's from. He's not from
not New Paltz, Newburgh, right? Or
Newburgh, maybe.
Newburgh, I believe.
I think you're right. But I bring that up just because, like, in the poetry community, there was something that I noticed which made me really frustrated with the scene eventually, which was that, like, once you kind of get like a certain level of attention or clout or interest, people are like, "Oh, cool, you're that guy who does the thing. You're the guy who does. You're the guy who, like, does the rants. You do the rant poems. That's awesome. That's your thing."
You know what? You're talking about art, bro. Like that's art in general.
Yeah,
that's art in general. Yeah.
I'm watching this documentary, or like I've been watching the Andy Warhol documentary. And there was something that of his that he said that I had never read before, but I felt like I don't remember reading, but I felt like, yo, I must have read this. And it's just like it goes into that because he's like, yeah, you know, you have if you're an artist, I think he was talking about Jean-Michel too. He's like, I think he said something like he was envious, like he wished that he was doing that, but it's like he had kind of stumbled on, or like had gotten to a point where he was doing something very early on, and he's like, yeah, you could just do that. He's like, I can't change anymore, right? Because like as an artist, you kind of you're gonna do the same thing over and over again, which is kind of a lie because he did so many different things.
Right.
But he just laid the truth bare and just saying like, yeah, most of what people do is they find out one thing, they just do it over and over and over again, and like the market loves that.
They want
that.
Like, yeah.
Like Coca-Cola, you're not gonna sit here and be like, you know, perfect product, right? Coca-Cola is not gonna be like, oh well, shit, let me fuck around and throw Skittles in this next batch.
No, but they will do Coke too. That's a whole other thing.
But we all
got smacked for that.
The conspiracy, I don't know. My conspiracy for that was just like, you know, they wanted to change the recipe in a certain market. Like they wanted to sub out sugar. You know what I mean? I feel like there must have been some sort of a, I don't know, some sort of a move in the Caribbean, they were like, oh, we don't want to pay these Caribbean motherfuckers for sugar anymore. So like,
Word.
you know, we're gonna do this. We'll do Coke too. It's like we'll use this corn syrup. You know what I mean? And like, they never went back to sugar in the States. You know?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. No, but bringing up Glover is that like, I don't think he's that. Like
Oh no, he's not.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's like really like fascinating and sort of inspiring about him. And I don't. And the crazy thing, I don't even think Atlanta is that. Like I don't think Atlanta is like a monolith on its own. Like Atlanta explores what it feels like exploring. Like those creatives who work on that show, like they're going down this road for this episode or this season or this track, and it's fascinating for that. I mean, it's one of the greatest shits ever. And it cannot be pigeonholed. It cannot be cubbied. It cannot be like put in its own like thing. It's just doing what it does. And yeah, that's really interesting. Like I don't know if that frustrates the people who try to market Donald Glover. I'm sure it does, maybe, but he's doing very well. So I don't know.
You can't knock the recipe if it works.
Right. Yeah, right. It's working. Yeah.
True. Yeah. That's all I got to say on Glover. Yeah, what else is up, y'all?
What about you, Tom? What have you been reading or watching?
So I mean, obviously playing Elden Ring.
Yep.
So I ended up started watching the new season of Picard, which is fabulous. And
I saw Worf is going to be on this season. I saw something about
the
that.
I think the entire cast of TNG is going to be in it at some point, which I'm all in on that. As a TNG mark, I am all in that. So I'm not going to complain. But that's it. Like I do want to read more, but work has got me all messed up. So I'm hoping that once the semester is over, I can go back to doing what I was doing, which was reading and writing. So I want to get to that point.
Okay. Oh, to Regine's point in the chat. So I saw the first episode of Bel Air, and I dug it. I dug where they were going. But I was waiting until the season ended so I could just get that.
Yeah.
So I could just get it.
You haven't paid for the bird yet.
Yeah. So
get the bird and leave.
Yeah, Regine just said the season ended, so I'm on it. I will get on it and watch the rest of it. But yeah, I've been hearing good things.
I'm actually low key worried about that show. So
why?
Oh, in what way?
Because isn't the executive producer?
Because of people's hyperbolic reactions.
Okay.
To a situation with 3 entertainers.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what I worried about. Like I think I'm gonna get into it and then be like, oh yeah, well they've disassociated themselves with this, and then the show is like, all right, great. So all those black actors are losing a job. That's just speculation.
Hopefully it's all right. Hopefully it will weather that nonsense.
Yeah, I'm hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well,
Marcus, what are you reading? Doing? What's up with you?
Well, I was gonna
work. You're not telling us?
Yeah, no, I have work.
No, he revealed it. He revealed it. You were allowed to talk about it.
What did I reveal?
I thought you were allowed to talk about it. No, you're not.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought you brought it.
No.
Yo, my bad. We must have been in the green room on the show or something. All right,
yeah. I might have told you. I told you.
I know you did. Yeah, but I thought it was. Okay, it's not common knowledge yet. Okay, it's still super duper secret.
No. I do have something. I mean, I think the only thing that I revealed is like that I'm collaborating with David Walker again, but I can't say anything about what it's on.
Oh shit, I like David.
So, yeah.
He was a cool guy.
Yeah, hella cool. And he's been living the life too. He's been all over social media, doing the con thing, and so that's what's up. Me, man, I've been working. I sliced my my drawing finger the other day, so I had to it was the type of thing like my wife was like, you should get stitches, and then I was like, nah man, I'm gonna put this liquid bandage on like a man.
Is that like a sport
to your wife, bro?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but is that like a sports injury? Like
kind of like, I got that liquid bandage.
Wait, are you not gonna finish off the season?
Oh, are you like out for 2 to 3 months?
Yeah.
No. I'm good. I'm good.
Are they benching you, my dude?
No. I'm good. I
Are you
took, like, a
gonna
couple
draw
days
it all
off.
like from like a bed with your eyelids, like the diving bell and the butterfly, like do
No,
that shit?
see, no, look. I was drawing with my 3 fingers, and it was like I was mostly getting it, but there was like a little bit of control that I was forfeiting. So I just took 2 days
That
off,
sucks,
and
man.
That's how that's how styles are made, bro.
Yeah.
That's
No,
true. Like
I'm
on
not
some
even gonna
Django
lie.
Reinhardt shit. Like,
Yeah.
the new
I
shit.
do know if I ever lose this finger, I will still be able to draw. So, like,
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good. Okay.
I can play. I can, So if I get into any, gratuitous ninja battles and lose a finger, I
Yeah,
won't have to give up art.
yeah. Get severed. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's what's up. Happy you're all right.
Yeah, man.
You know why they take the finger? Like the Yakuza, why they take the finger?
Why?
Wow.
Cause like, when you hold a katana or whatever, it's like the grip loosens as you approach the what is this, the index? What you
The
call
index
it?
finger. Yeah.
And like the pinky,
Oh.
I think the idea is that it's like a lesson in humility. You're weak, you're gonna rely on your family more. You're gonna rely on, you lose a bit of strength, I think. You know what I mean? You lose the strength. That you have, you know what I mean?
So it digs you deeper, like, because you need help. You need a little.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know that much about it. I had read somewhere where it's like, yeah, it's kind of like either you rely more on the family or like the squad, or also like you're diminished somewhat,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you guys can, Yakuza experts can write in.
I like, it's when you brought that up, I was like, fuck, I thought I did know what that was about, and I cannot. I just cannot. Also, Gretton. Oh wait, no, I was gonna spoil something about the ending. All right, forget. I won't spoil. I won't spoil that when we're not live anymore, because it's got a joke. It's got a joke that's like too much.
Well, like the hype joke.
No, the MJ shit.
Oh yeah. I thought that was funny.
It was funny. It was funny. It was good. It was good stuff.
Yeah. Actually, I got a question. I got a quick question. So I'm supporting the Kickstarter, but I can't at the level that I want to. But if one is not able to support at the level where you get the 600-page scroll right now, in the future when it's published, you still will be able to, right?
Will it be published? Will it be published
or
and
will it?
available?
Oh yeah, they're gonna publish it. I think every tier. I mean, unless there's just like I like to watch tier, but there's like I think every package comes with the comic.
The physical one, or
yeah,
at a point.
Yeah, I'm on the this is what I can afford this month tier.
Right. Okay.
And it's
still yeah. We're gonna. I mean, the cost is so that we can make enough so that we.
We can put it out.
Yeah, because
it's totally worth it, and I think everybody should support it.
It's a magical little thing. It's
amazing.
Yeah. It's just dope, man. It's just dope. I love what y'all do at Lab. I love the Lab, like the Lab issues. I love the idea of like playing with format, playing with material, playing with literal material of the printed material itself. This feels like the sort of like natural kind of growth and emergence, the fungal growth out of that. And it's just it's dope. Man, it's gonna look good as hell on a shelf.
Yeah. And actually, feel free to not answer this if it's not something you want to answer. But like seeing your original pages was really dope. Are you like inking? Are you like a brush dude? Do you ink with
I don't
all
mind.
kinds of stuff?
I don't mind answering that question. Like I use everything, but on that project I use two tools or three tools. And these are it. I forget who puts this out. Is this Zebra? Like for fills, I use this.
Okay.
For lines, I use Sakura, right? For like sort of like larger lines, I use
like heavy Heavy line.
Mangaka Flexible Kuretake.
Nice.
And I'm gonna tell you what the.
Have you done brush stuff? Have you done brush inking?
I mean, this is a nylon brush. I mean, my and this is a felt. I mean, it's a marker, but it's a felt brush.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can do brush like stuff.
Yeah. Like I mean, right. the reason why not, like it's a premium type of thing, right? It's like you could, I don't know. It's like, for me, it comes down to the bottom line. I'm not like Paul Pope or Becky Cloonan. I'm not like gonna. It just at the end of the day, it's
just straight to brush.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
brushing off jump.
Neither of them go straight to brush on their pages, I don't think. But like,
no, I know, who does? Jordan Crane does.
Does he?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe he does. If I'm not mistaken. I know a lot don't. It's fascinating with the ones that do. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Just friggin'.
I mean,
it's wild.
I guess it depends on like what what you're going for, like continuity wise, like what you need to do is like if I'm making a picture, I might be into doing that. Like I can't see. The only time I would go straight to brush is like if if I have my pencils down. It's like you're not doing pencils, like you're not doing, you're not planning out your page. It's not it's not my way of telling a story. I think if your storytelling is more picture making, like so more, I think, concerned with making pictures than panel to panel storytelling. I think that might make more sense. But I think if you're doing like panel to panel, it's like, or you know what I mean, or even sort of like you wouldn't expect someone like Chris Ware to go straight to ink, like
hell, right?
And I would go so far as to say, like, if somebody told me that they're going straight to ink, I'd be like, yo, you capping, like let's see.
Show the work. Show your work.
Let's see. Yeah. Pictures or it didn't happen. I'm just like, it's just like
picture GTFO.
Yeah, like I mean, if you're that nice, you can be a painter. Like comics, like why are you even? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like who are the illest cats that go straight to the pen? Like they don't ever tell a story. Like they essentially are just. They are exhibitionists. It's like Terada or like what's the Korean cat who does? It's like I'm just gonna draw a bunch of stuff on a wall. You know what I mean? It's like they're performance artists. Like you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like they're not. It's not storytelling. You know what I mean? So like I don't even see functionally why you would. I mean, unless you're really enjoying yourself.
Right.
You're doing automatic writing. Like if you like Basquiat or some shit, like they'll do a piece. But like if you're telling a story. Like, I don't even understand. Like, how do you? Nah, bro.
Yeah.
I call.
Calling them out.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
No one who's telling a story is doing that.
Right.
All right. I need to dig into it briefly because
prove me wrong.
Because we're bringing up names.
No, I believe you.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the lab collaborators that have come through the line? Because I know bro. Jim Woodring. Jim Woodring is like one of my. I'm old fan of Jim Woodring's. I know he got involved with some lab shit.
No, yeah, like what isn't in any of our comics?
Isn't Jim Woodring on some shit?
I'm like
tell me who is. Tell me who is.
When you asked me, I was like, I don't even know, bro. There's so many people who are in it. But like Jim is not.
Is that? I mean? Like, I thought Jim was in it.
I'm almost sure he is.
No, all right.
Yeah.
But you got some names.
Yeah, like so many. Like we were talking about it before. Richie was in there. Freddie's in there. Oh my God, you're killing me. Iden is in there.
I'm about to Google Jim Woodring in lab because I fucking swear to God, Jim Woodring was in the lab. I swear to God.
I know because the names that I wouldn't recognize, like just if I were to slip, Rosemary, O'Connell Vallejo's in there. But of the people who there's no name that I would recognize and not know that it's in there. You know what I mean? Because like there might be some people who are young who I just didn't even know very well.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
That are in the magazine whose name I don't remember. But like a name like Jim Woodring, I know I didn't, you know,
Do they
because
do?
I mean, Jim is cool, but I wasn't even checking for Jim. You know what I mean? Like, so that's how I
I
know he's
haven't
not.
seen his name a lot lately. No,
Yeah.
like I mean, I used to love Jim. So do you reach out to? Do they reach out to you? Like, how does that how does that vibe get built?
It's I feel like mostly what happens is like I'm like just I'm looking for maybe I'm on Instagram or some shit and or like I picked up a comic, a zine at SPX and I'm like, okay, or like I've got homies. The thing that's really fucked up is the names that I do remember is just like I have so many homies that are like homies, very good acquaintances and some friends who I'm like, wow, it's the issue comes out. I'm on the con circuit, and they're like, "Oh man, let me get an issue," and I'm like, "Fuck, why didn't I ask this motherfucker to be in the comic?" You know what I mean? Like he's great. You know what I mean? Like, why didn't I ask? You know, like, and it happens every time. It's
Sure,
like I
sure.
got like a murderer's row of people who probably be like, "Yeah, sure." You know, like I could probably do 5 more labs without ever doing open admissions,
Right.
just people who I walk down the aisle to my table at SPX and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, no, we'd love to be a part of it," you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I also want to, you know, my process is what I want is a balance of names that could sell the paper on their own and people who don't have any shine yet. You
That's
know
the
what I
way to
mean?
do
Like
it.
so somebody who's still in college or just out of college and like, you know, Paul Pope. You know what I mean? Like so that's kind of like what I kind of that's the strategy. And also it's not there's no pretense to some sort of a liberal you know, let's get everyone to have a conversation. But you know, not everyone is, you know, there is some, I think, tension, you know, in terms of like generation and
Mm.
you know, there's some different and like, you know, I'm not about to give a, you know, slot to a Republican, you know what I mean? I'm not having Nazis in my newspaper.
Yeah, fuck
But
that
like,
shit.
you know, like I
That's
may have,
real.
No
you know,
Nazis in the newspaper should be
That's
just a
real.
standard.
you know, the newspaper, the only way a Nazi could get on lab is like if somebody rolled up lab 12 times and beat them over the head with it. You know what I mean? Like that's the only way they're gonna
There you go.
make a mark on a paper on a
I
lab
feel you.
newspaper.
Mm,
But
mm.
like, you know, I'm not out here. It's not like a it's not a it's as much as the Panther paper kind of inspire like Emory Douglas inspires
Mhm.
me.
Hmm.
Um it's not that's not what it is. Like I really hope for it to be just something really entertaining that can be interesting and like, you know, maybe to inquire about its like political unconscious maybe, but like subconscious, but not so much like the anyway, yeah, so that's my process.
All right.
New people, old people, maybe some people who are kind of dusty, some people who are like fly and flashy,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and critics, you know, like, you know, some criticism in there so that while people are reading the comics, there may be, you know, like there's a vibration between the criticism and and the work. Yeah, before I get Jim in that, I would get Dave Cooper. You know what I mean? Like that's probably
Mm,
my speed. Like if I was like, if I wanted to get somebody like that, I would get Dave Cooper.
okay.
And I did ask Dave, and he kind of politely acted like he didn't hear what but I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask him again when it's time, because Dave Cooper is one of the cartoonists who got me into making comics. You know, like
Huh.
uh, Ripple was a comic that I was reading right around the time
Hmm.
when I started to draw
Oh my
comics.
God, that brings me back.
Mm.
That brings
Yeah,
me back.
yeah. Fucked up, bucktooth, kinky shit.
Yeah. Chubby eroticism.
Yeah, yeah.
All that good shit.
Shit. Now I know what to put in my field profile.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. All right, Ron. I know we pulled you. We actually
Yeah.
you're way past the time where you're supposed to turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah, the homie is supposed to come through. We're supposed to do something. He didn't say nothing yet. Supposed to do a little building project.
All right. Not the DHL guy.
Nah.
Not your weed guy. Okay.
You know, a homie of mine was gonna help me. So this cat, we usually do the projects together, but like I've been very busy. So a homie of mine has just been building things for me. He built the top of the desk that we're talking on, like that I work on right now.
Okay.
We built the bottom piece together. We built my light box together, and we're gonna build a little shelf for something for me to put my records on while I'm listening to them. So on the wall. Well,
Okay.
like good homie. Also from Pratt.
That's dope. I'm definitely hitting up Ted like after this call, like to be like, yo, I talked to Ron, because I feel like Ted. I don't think Ted came up on you earlier times on the show. I could be wrong. It's been so long. It's been so long. But that's what's up.
We talked about the origins or something, maybe, and I was also in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
why don't we do
factor.
it like at the same time?
Yeah, no doubt.
That would be dope.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. So anyway, wrapping shit up over here. Check out the Grattan Kickstarter.
Yes.
You guys are where are we at? Yeah, I mean,
do that.
Yeah, like it's flying out.
7 days. 7 days left.
Yeah.
7 days. We're near the finish line. I think we can definitely hit it.
Yeah, put me over that joint, bro.
Yeah, that's why we do this. That's what we do. That's all we do.
Oh,
that's all we do. And I made my order today. So yeah.
I respect.
Hells yeah. Yeah, definitely check it out. We'll be posting out the link on the Twitter.
Let's not wait 6 years, man. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I got
anytime.
I got some shit that you're gonna be like, wow, you didn't even talk about that.
Sure.
I got some shit happening later, maybe even later this year. It'll be announced, but like between, definitely next year, I'll have some like a completely different vibe to talk about with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Ron's working on a yaoi manga shit. That's dope.
Oh, why not?
I was waiting for it. That's what's up.
Originally, the one of the characters, Mo, she's an otaku, right? So,
yes.
One of the not episode 4, but one of the other episodes, she does a yaoi of her teachers because her teachers are like famous ninja. So like
this is mentioned in back matter somewhere in the
is it really?
Somewhere.
Okay.
It's tucked away somewhere. I don't even remember where, but yes, it is mentioned. It is mentioned up in there somewhere.
Yeah. So like
just
that definitely exists. Like if we do the anime or some shit like this, that's definitely gonna come up. Cause it was like, oh, that's what it was. It was like she does a yaoi of one of the teammates and one of her, like the Jonin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the teammate's like, bro, I don't know how I feel about that. And so she's like, yo, what's wrong? Like, why are you bugging? And he's like, he has like the introspective thing. He's like, yeah, why am I bugging? You know what I mean? Like, so yeah.
That's dope. All right. Yeah. All right, so that's what Ron's working on. That's canon. That's fine. That's his next shit. That's his next joint. But yeah, no, we'll pump it up. We're gonna do this. And yeah, definitely follow up. Marcus, you want to wrap us? You want to do outros? You want to do the good shit? What do you want to do?
I mean, yeah, we can. You mean just go around and where can people find everyone?
Like introduce.
We've done this show before, yes.
Is that how the show works? Yes. Is that how it's put together?
Yes, I am familiar with the podcast. You earthlings, yes. No. Yeah, all right. So Ron, definitely looking forward to having you on before 6 years. So like, if people out there in internet land want to find you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Probably my Instagram, Ronald Wimberly on Instagram. Okay. Is the easiest way to find me, or Ronald J. Wimberly on Twitter. They can follow me there as well. That's the best way to keep in contact with me. I have Ronald Wimberly, the website. You can look that up, ronaldwimberly.com, and it can hit me there. But like, don't send me no wild emails, yo. All right.
Yeah, he's a busy man. Respect
the boundaries.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Let's keep the boundaries popping.
Good. It's a
All
good bumper
right.
sticker. Don't send me no wild emails.
No wild emails, dog.
You know, motherfuckers send you like, I heard you on the podcast.
Yep.
Bruh.
Build from
Like,
that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't got like a job for me and nothing. You like, let me know.
Yeah.
You say like, yo, comment on their podcast. Like, don't send me an email, bro. Like, can you imagine? It's like, at least back in the day, you're gonna write a letter. It's like, oh, Stephen King, you know. I read in this and I noticed that in this part, blah 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 blah. It's like Stephen King. It's like, oh, okay, very interesting. All right,
Go read that shit.
I used to involve postage. It involved
internet is
postage.
wild because it's be like,
For real.
oh, podcast.
Right.
No, when I was a kid, this is no bullshit. When I was a kid, I used to write letters to comics because I wanted to be a comics artist when I was a little kid. I used to write letters to comics artists that I loved, and very frequently they would send me back like boards and shit. They would like send me back a letter. They would like, yeah, I would like write physical. Like I wrote letters to Sam Keith. I wrote letters to like a bunch of artists. Yeah, for real. Like I would do that as a child.
Look,
that's real shit.
Yeah, I mean, I've had like many great artists just totally hit me back. I've been blessed, you know what I mean? Some of my heroes, you know what I mean, are like people, I wouldn't say heroes, but I say people who I really respect as artists in the field. So like I appreciate it. You know, maybe I need to be a little bit more receptive to it.
You just reminded me I have some emails to answer.
Oh shit. Okay,
Marcus.
Marcus, do I need to send you a letter? I send you a little letter?
Quite possibly.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
No.
Fair enough.
All right. So Tony, where can people find you on the internet?
They can find him in the lands between. I just want to make a mention. They can find Tony
Very good.
in the lands
Very
between.
Good. Very good. You can find me on PS5. Screen name is Latin Negro. No, actually, it's not. It's Darth Tonito, whatever. Anyway, so you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Latin Negro. You can go to my website, anthonyotero.com, to purchase my 2 novels and Puerto Rico Strong, which is Eisner winning, Puerto Rico Strong.
The Eisner winning Puerto Rico Strong.
Yes, proceeds still go to the people affected by Hurricane Maria. So if you haven't read it, you're missing out. Please pick one up.
Absolutely. And Leo, where can people find you?
You can find me at Leonardo EFF on Twitter. You can find me in the pages of Mañana, Latinx Sci-Fi Comics Anthology. You can also find Tony on there. He's on that shit. I have a short in there that I'm quite proud of. You can also find me every single weekend on Cartoons and Cereal with the boys, watching silly 80s and 90s cartoons, talking trash. We're almost done with Gem. We're not going to watch it this weekend. We're going to talk a little bit more about that on Friday, but we're not going to watch it this weekend. But the following weekend, we're going to finish Gem and the Holograms, which we've seen every single episode of. And we are basically Gem scholars. We're scholars now.
We're scholars now.
Yeah, we are Gem scholars.
I'm still coming down off of this past episode. But
I know, man. You ain't alone. No.
Was this a remake or?
No, we watched through the original 80s series over the course of like a year and a half. Once a week, we've seen an episode. Wow. We have watched through all of it, and we're gonna finally see the finale, and we're done.
Wow.
Yep, we took a journey. Ron, if you're ever just fucking around on Sunday, you're more than welcome to come on and watch cartoons with us.
Man.
Yeah.
All right, send me the info.
I will, for sure. I'm happy to. Marcus, where can folks find you, Marcus Kwame Anderson?
The best place right now is, I have not been very active on social media, but I'm gonna do a little bit more. But best place is Instagram, yes, at Marcus _Kwame, or just marcuskwame.com. That's where everything is. And I will have some things I can speak about hopefully in the next, 3 months.
Yeah, in the meantime, you can read the New York Times review of the Black Panther Party, a graphic
novel
history.
That's right.
You can do that in the meantime. You just want to tide yourself over.
You could do that.
Just want to hang.
Actually, I did just get an email. There is going to be a, the international editions are still popping.
Ooh.
So there's a Spanish one coming.
Very nice.
Really? Actual Spain.
Actual Spain.
Yeah, right, Spanish.
Right. Spanish. Yes. So yeah.
It's going to be in Castellano.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Keep it. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm gonna, Ron, thank you so much. I'm going to pretty much just put this up, the raw audio, because I want people to get it in their veins as
Get
soon
the
as possible.
rawness. That's
Yeah,
right.
while the Kickstarter is kicking.
I'm also gonna put it up. You know what? We gotta utilize our YouTube. I'm gonna put this video on the YouTube just because there was so much visual stuff happening.
Yeah.
That is true. We got peaks.
Wow,
Yeah.
we haven't put on YouTube in a while.
We haven't really, but it's true. We got peaks at the.
Yeah, we got artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the
true.
shoulder going
We got
on
the
behind
exclusive.
you.
Yes,
We got
people
the
need to
exclusive.
understand the shoulder.
They're gonna be mad. Okay. They're like, this nigga ain't even that nice, bro.
Talking shit. Straight up.
Sorry.
That's what's up. I
Yo.
like that, man.
Hey, but
No, but yeah.
Prince got booed off the stage. Rolling Stones, you know, never
They
quit.
were mad. They were. I don't
Yeah,
believe
but
it.
he also, but also when there was like 50 like motherfuckers doing my guitar when my guitar gently weeps, like everybody just shut up while Prince was doing his thing too. Like literally, like there was like a billions and billions of dollars worth of talent on the stage, and everyone was just like,
No, but this,
I'm
but
just
this
gonna
one,
sit here.
but this is what I'm saying. Like, that was 30 years later. Or
It
some
was.
shit. Like,
It was. Yeah.
when he was a young buck. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm saying is like,
True.
I could be Prince to his Rolling Stones.
You could
You know
be.
what I'm saying? Like,
That's
you know,
right.
you know. You're like,
Yeah, that's what's up. All right, no.
On that note.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's cut it. Thanks everybody for
All right.
keeping in. We'll have it. We'll have everything on the audio feed, and yeah. What's up? Shout out Regine.
Cool. Yeah. Shout out everyone listening live, man, and we will be back at you soon.
Yep.
It was a pleasure, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Ron. Thank you, Ron. Peace out.
Peace.